Hello, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to see eccentrically loaded voltage joint. We are going to see previous year numericals on eccentrically loaded voltage joint. See, the first question we will see, which was asked in GATE 2017. Then after that, we will see GATE 2007 question, then GATE 2016, and we will see then GATE 2015. Very important questions and very good quality questions, right? Before this, before starting all these questions, let us understand the concept of eccentrically loaded voltage joint, right? Here in diagram you can see eccentrically loaded voltage joint. See here, let us say my target is to connect two plates with the help of voltage joint. Let us say this is a plate 1. I can say this is a plate 1 and this is another plate 2. This is another plate 2. Plate 2. Now these two plates we have to connect with the help of bolted joint, right? Here the bolts are used. These are the bolts. Let us say bolt 1, bolt 2, bolt 3 and bolt 4. Let us say here 4 bolts are used, right? And on these bolts, after connection, that is after connection of plate 1 and plate 2 with the help of 4 bolts here, the force P is applied like this. The force P is eccentric by eccentricity E. Now see, for these 4 bolts, the centroid CG, center of gravity of these 4 bolts is at location G. Here, location G is center of gravity of 4 bolts, right? Now, and load P is at a eccentricity E from G, right? Now, the bolts are represented as MD into T. Means M is metric, M is metric thread, M is metric thread, D means diameter of bolt, and P is a pitch of bolt. P is a pitch of bolt. These all terms we have explained in theory lectures, right? Now, generally this is how bolt is represented. Let us say M 10 by 1.5 means diameter of bolt is 10 mm. Diameter of bolt is 10 mm and pitch of bolt is 1.5 mm. This is how bolts are represented. Now again, here the plates are connected with the help of four bolts. Here N is a number of bolts. The 2D view we can see like this. The 2D view here. Here force P is applied at eccentricity E from the center of gravity of these 4 bolts. The bolts are, this is bolt number 1, bolt number 2, bolt number 3 and bolt number 4. For these 4 bolts, the center of gravity is G and eccentricity is E, right? Now can you imagine here, due to this application of force P, this plate 2 is trying to rotate. Due to application of force P, the plate 2 is trying to rotate with respect to plate 1. That means bolts are also trying to rotate, and rotation means torque. That is, torque is equal to P into E. Force into eccentricity, this much torque is acting on the bolts. Whenever there is a torque, there is shear stress, there is torsional shear stress. T by J is equal to tau by R is equal to G theta by L. This is the torsional equation that you have seen in strength of material, right? Means whenever it is subject to torsion, there will be a torsional shear stress tau. There will be a torsional shear stress tau. Means here in this case the bolts are subjected to shear stresses. The bolts are subjected to shear stresses. And very important note that in engineering mechanics you might have seen this note. Any force, note down this, any force can be transferred at any location, but along with force we have to transfer the moment created by that force. अब इस नोट को अगर डिटेल में समझना है, that note you have seen in many times in mechanics, इसको अगर ढंग से समझना है तो देखो यहाँ पे, let us understand the note. This force I can transfer at any location, and that location is center of gravity. This force as it is I can put on center of gravity G, but along with this force, whatever moment created by this force about G, that also we have to put at G. Let us say here I will transfer the force. Now this force directly I will put at G like this, at G like this. But this force, can you say this force is creating clockwise movement about G, which is nothing but T into E. So that moment also we have to put here, and that is the torque. This torque also we have to put in clockwise direction about G. This is the way, and torque is P into E. Similarly, in 2D view, if you see in 2D view, this force P we can directly put at G. See, in 2D view, observe the 2D view. In this 2D view, this force P we can directly put at G, but along with force, we have to put the torque also. So directly put this P at G like this. But whatever may be the torque created, this torque is equal to P into E. That also we have to put at G. Right? This is the loading. Now, can you imagine here, or can you see here, this bolt 1, bolt 2, bolt 3, bolt 4 are subjected to primary shear load P. This P is called primary shear load. Primary shear load, right, on 4 bolts. And also due to torque T, the bolts are subjected to secondary shear stress or secondary shear load. जैसे कि shear stress आएगा, shear load आएगा, means due to torque bolts are subjected to secondary shear load. Secondary shear load, right? Means there are two loads on the bolts, that is primary shear load P, direct shear load, and secondary shear load, that is indirect shear load. These are the two shear loads on the bolts, right? Now for these loadings our target is to design the bolt. For this loading our target is to design the bolts. Now let us say again, if I consider the bolts, let us say this is the bolt 1, these are the 4 bolts, let us say these are the 4 bolts, right? Now this is a bolt number 1, bolt number 2, bolt number 3, and bolt number 4. And center of gravity of these bolts is at this location, G. G is the center of gravity. And at G, vertically downward force P is acting, right? And as well as torque T is acting in clockwise direction. Torque T, which is nothing but P into E, is acting in clockwise direction. Now again, what is torque? Torque is nothing but we can say force into perpendicular radius. Force into perpendicular radius, right? Therefore torque is equal to force into perpendicular radius. Means the force must be perpendicular to radius, or radius must be perpendicular to the force. That is a simple concept. Now this P, to balance this P, the bolts will offer resistance. For this primary shear load P, the bolts, for downward load, the bolts will offer upward resistance. And as well as for this clockwise torque, the bolts will offer anti-clockwise torque. All the bolts will offer resistance. Now let us examine, let us do the analysis for this, right? Now see here, the same diagram I am considering on large scale, right? See, this is a bolt number 3, bolt number 2, bolt number 4, and bolt number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 bolts here, and load is acting through the CG. Direct load is P, vertically downward direction, and there is a torque T. There is a torque T also. Right. Now for resistance, to offer resistance for this primary shear load, let us consider PS is primary shear load in bolts. Primary shear load in bolts, right? Now that means PS1 will be primary shear load in bolt 1. Therefore there will be primary shear load in bolt 1, which is nothing but opposite to the applied load. So vertically upward, it will be vertical upward, that is PS1. It is a PS1, right? Again in bolt 2 there will be primary shear load, vertically upward, PS2. Again in bolt 3 there will be vertically upward primary shear load, PS3. Again in bolt 4 there will be vertically upward primary shear load, PS4, right? Means PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 are primary shear loads in bolt 1, bolt 2, bolt 3, and bolt 4. Therefore for equilibrium, can I say, for equilibrium, summation of forces in y direction is equal to 0. For equilibrium, summation of forces in y direction is equal to 0, right? See, my dear students, to understand the questions of previous year gate question, we need to understand these concepts. That's why I'm taking these all, right? इसके बाद हम क्वेश्चन ही सॉल्व करने जाने वाले हैं. Now apply this equilibrium equation. Downward is negative, upward is positive. Therefore we can say PS1 is upward, plus PS2 is upward, plus PS3 is upward, plus PS4 is upward, minus P, which is downward, is equal to 0, is equal to 0, right? Therefore, put this P on right side. Therefore, we can see here, we can say here, summation of all the primary shear loads in the bolt is equal to total primary shear load. PS1 plus PS2 plus PS3 plus PS4 is equal to P, right? And all the bolts are subjected to same amount of primary shear load. ये जो primary shear load P है, that will be equally distributed in all the bolts. That means we can say PS1 is equal to PS2 is equal to PS3 is equal to PS4. The load is equally distributed among all the bolts, which is nothing but equal to P by 4. We can say here P by 4. Therefore, primary shear load PS is equal to, we can say, total shear load divided by number of bolts. Number of bolts. This is how we can say. Primary shear load in any bolt is equal to total shear load divided by number of bolts. This is a primary shear load only, which is vertically upward, that is opposite to the applied load, right? So first thing we have calculated primary shear load, that is PS1, PS2 and PS3, that I am writing here somewhere. See, PS1 is equal to PS2 is equal to PS3 is equal to PS4 is equal to force divided by number of bolts, that is 4. Here there are 4 bolts, right? This we have calculated. Now let us go for secondary shear load. Let us say PS dash. Secondary shear load we are representing with the letter suffix dash, PS dash. Therefore, it is secondary shear load. Secondary shear load, PS dash. Then in bolt 1 there will be PS dash 1, in bolt 2 PS dash 2, in bolt 3 PS3 dash, in bolt 4 PS4 dash. This is how there will be a secondary shear load, right? Now let us calculate them. Let us calculate them. See, secondary shear load is to balance torque. Torque is nothing but torque is equal to P into eccentricity E. To balance this torque, see, torque here is in clockwise direction. The torque is in clockwise direction. To cancel this clockwise torque, we need to apply anti-clockwise torque on the bolts, on all the bolts, right? Therefore, and the torque is nothing but force into perpendicular radius. First of all, see the radius. First of all, हमें radius देखनी है. तो radius is nothing but R is nothing but distance from the center of gravity, distance from the center of gravity to the center of bolt. Therefore, we can say here R1 is from G to center of first bolt. This distance is R1, radius of first bolt from the CG. Again R2, here we can see R2, CG of bolt 2 from center of gravity of all the 4 bolts together, R2. Again R3, center of bolt 3 from G. This is R3. Again R4, center of bolt 4, from the G. This is R4. Right. Now we have calculated distances R1, R2, R3, R4. Right. From G, we have to measure from G to that center of that bolt. From G to center, G to center, G to center, G to center, likewise. Right. Now here torque is in clockwise direction. You can see here that applied torque is going in clockwise direction, right? Clockwise direction. So to cancel this torque, we need to apply anti-clockwise torque. To cancel this torque, we need to apply anti-clockwise torque. Therefore, and force is perpendicular to radius. So R1 को perpendicular draw करना है. For R1, we have to draw one perpendicular force which must create about G in anti-clockwise direction, which must create torque about G in anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, the secondary shear load will come like this. See here, PS1 dash, perpendicular to radius, but creating moment or torque in anti-clockwise direction. Again, at 2, there will be perpendicular to radius, creating torque in anti-clockwise direction, PS2 dash, right? It is perpendicular to radius. Again at 3, anti-clockwise torque apply करना है आपको दोस्तों. At 3, perpendicular to radius, like this, PS3 dash, perpendicular to radius, and creating anti-clockwise torque about G, right? At 4, perpendicular to radius, PS4 dash, perpendicular to radius, and creating anti-clockwise torque about G. This is how there will be secondary shear loads. This is how there will be secondary shear loads also, right? Now our target is to find these secondary shear loads, and for finding secondary shear loads we can apply summation of moment about g is equal to 0, right? Summation of moment about g must be equal to 0 to find secondary shear loads. Therefore, see, torque is in clockwise direction, therefore torque, which is positive, minus, see, torque is clockwise, ps1 into r1 anti-clockwise, therefore minus ps1 dash into r1 minus ps2 dash into r2 minus ps3 dash into r3 minus ps4 dash into r4 is equal to 0. See, ps1 dash, ps2 dash, ps3 dash, ps4 dash, all are creating anti-clockwise torque, and applied torque is clockwise, clockwise positive, anti-clockwise negative, right? This is how we have to write equation. Therefore torque is nothing but p into e. Therefore the same equation, the same expression we can write. अब टॉर्क को उस साइड लेके चलो, बाकी सारे टर्म को इधर रखो तो पॉजिटिव बन जाएगी सारे, तो बनेगा इक्वेशन ps1 dash r1 plus ps2 dash r2 plus ps3 dash r3 plus ps4 dash r4 is equal to torque is nothing but p into e. Torque is nothing but p into e. This is your equation. This is your equation. And my dear students, one very important point is that this secondary shear load is directly proportional to radius. This secondary shear load is directly proportional to radius. That means ps dash is directly proportional to radius. Therefore we can say ps1 dash is directly proportional to r1. Therefore we can write ps1 dash is equal to some constant into r1. K is a constant of proportionality. K is a constant of proportionality. K into r1. Similarly, ps2 dash is equal to kr2. Similarly, ps3 dash is equal to kr3. Again, ps4 dash is equal to k into r4. This is how we can write. Now put all these values ps1 dash, ps1 dash, ps2 dash, ps3 dash, ps4 dash, that is kr1, kr2, kr3, kr4 in this equation. In this equation number 1, right? इस equation में सारी values को put करो, right? Therefore, can I write equation like this? See, the equation will become no. Now the equation will become, instead of ps1 dash there is kr1 into r1. देखो यहाँ पे equation में ps1 dash की जगह kr1 into r1 means kr1 square plus instead of ps2 dash kr2 into r2, that is kr2 square, kr2 square plus similarly kr3 square plus kr4 square is equal to p into e. Therefore k is equal to, if I consider k common, k is equal to p into e divided by r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square plus r4 square. This is the constant value. This is the constant value, right? K is equal to p into e. See, simplify this equation. K को common ले लो, r1 plus r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square plus r4 square उस साइड जाके डिनोमिनेटर में चला जाएगा, right? This will be the constant k, and where ps1 dash is equal to kr1, ps2 dash is equal to kr2, and so on, and so on. This is how we have to write, right? Now let us go for the solution. अगर आपने कोई भी एक बोल्ट देखा, consider any bolt. My dear students, consider any bolt. The bolt is subjected to primary shear as well as secondary shear load. See here, in all bolts, the primary shear load ps1 is equal to ps2 is equal to ps3 is equal to ps4 is equal to total load divided by number of bolts, that is 4. And secondary shear load is ps1 dash is equal to kr1 then ps is equal to kr3 and ps4 dash is equal to kr4, where k is nothing but p into e, which is nothing but torque divided by r1 square plus r2 square plus r3 square plus r4 square. This is how we have solved. After solving this, look at any bolt. Bolt 1, bolt 2, bolt 3, bolt 4, they are subjected to primary shear as well as secondary shear. They are subjected to primary shear as well as secondary shear. So we have to find resultant of them. हमें उनका resultant find करना है, right? Now let us say angle between PS1 and PS1 dash, that is primary shear load on bolt 1 and primary secondary shear load on bolt 1. The angle between them is, let us say, theta 1. इनके बीच में एंगल थीटा 1 है, let us say theta 1, right? तो रिजल्टेंट जो आता है, the resultant will go in between them. इन दोनों के बीच में आता है रिजल्टेंट will be in between them, that is, let us say P1 is resultant load on bolt number 1, and as per law of parallelogram this P1 is given as per law of parallelogram, this P1 is given as P1 is equal to under root of PS1 square plus PS1 dash square plus twice PS1 dash cos theta 1. This is a law of parallelogram, right? This is a law of parallelogram. Again, on a bolt 2, there will be primary and secondary shear load, and angle between them, let us say angle between them is theta 2. Let us say angle between them is theta 2. Bolt 1 पे primary shear load PS2 and secondary shear load PS2 dash, the angle between them is theta 2, right? Therefore there will be a resultant of them. Therefore there will be resultant of these two acting in between these two, that is P2, and this P2 is given as P2 is equal to under root of PS2 square plus PS2 dash square plus twice PS2 dash cos of angle between them, that is cos theta 2. This is how secondary resultant shear load is calculated on bolt number 2. Similarly, on a bolt number 3, there will be P3, angle is theta 3. On bolt number 4, angle between them is theta 4, and resultant is P4. Angle between primary and secondary is theta 4, theta, right? Now, similarly, we can write P3 is equal to under root of PS3 square plus PS3 dash square plus twice PS3 dash cos theta 3, right? And P4 is written as under root of PS4 square plus PS4 dash square plus twice PS4 dash cos theta 4. This is how we can write. Now in this equation, as theta goes on decreasing, cos theta value goes on increasing. Therefore resultant load goes on increasing, force goes on increasing, and as force goes on increasing, stress goes on increasing, right? Therefore the bolt having minimum value of theta is critically loaded. जैसे जैसे थीटा की वैल्यू कम होगी वैसे वैसे cos थीटा बढ़ता जाएगा, वैसे वैसे द रिजल्टेंट लोड बढ़ता जाएगा, तो shear stress बढ़ता जाएगा. That means the bolt having minimum value of theta is critically loaded, that we can say, right? And we have to design the critically loaded bolt only. While designing, we have to design critically loaded bolt only, right? Therefore while designing, we can say, let us say here bolt 1 and bolt 2 are critically loaded. You can see here theta 1 is equal to theta 2 due to symmetry. Again theta 3 is equal to theta 4, but theta 1 is less than theta 3. See, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 and theta 4 are more than 90 degree. Theta 1 and theta 2 are less than 90 degree, right? Therefore bolt 1 and 2 are critically loaded. Therefore design load maximum is equal to P1. This is design load, which is nothing but equal to P2. These are the design loads. And as per design, the shear stress, maximum shear stress is equal to force, that is design force, P max, which is equal to P max divided by pi by 4d square, which is nothing but as per maximum shear stress theory is equal to SSY divided by factor of safety. As per maximum shear stress theory, this maximum shear stress is equal to maximum force divided by area pi by 4d square is equal to, as per maximum shear stress theory, SSY divided by factor of 50. This we have seen in theories of failure topic, right? This is how we have to design. Therefore force P will become pi by 4 d square into SSY divided by factor of safety. Now from this equation whatever may be unknown, force may be unknown, diameter may be unknown, yeah, factor of safety may be unknown. We can calculate accordingly, right? We can calculate accordingly. Now let us solve these questions. Let us solve all these questions according to these notes, right? Now I hope आपने समझ लिया है, तो क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करते हैं. क्वेश्चन की तरफ चलते हैं. Now first question is on your screen, which was screen GATE 2017. This question was asked in GATE 2017. Now, the question is a steel plate connected to a fixed channel using three identical bolts A, B, and C carries a load of 6 kilonewton as shown in figure. Considering the effect of direct load and moment, the magnitude of resultant shear force in kilonewton on bolt C is. क्वेश्चन तो बहुत सिंपल है दोस्तों. Question is to find resultant shear force on bolt C. Now see, look at the diagram. If I zoom it, you can see the diagram clearly. Right. This is the diagram. This question was asked in GATE 2017. Now in this diagram, see, there is a channel. There is a channel. Channel is connected to steel plate with the help of three bolts A, B, and C. At A, B, C, there is a bolt. Right. Again, there is an eccentric load of 6 kilonewton is applied. This 6, say at this 6 kilonewton is eccentric. Right. Now, the question is to find for this loading, the question is to find what is the resultant load on bolt C. What is the resultant load on bolt C? Very simple question. One of the best question and very simple question. क्योंकि ऐसे प्रकार के बहुत बार क्वेश्चन आ चुके हैं गेट में. देखो, now for these bolt A, B, C, can you say that the centroid will be at location B? The centroid of bolt A, B, C will be at B location. That is, point G will be at B location. Point G will be at B location. Therefore, the distance of, we can say, the distance of point A from B is RA. This is RA. Therefore, we can say here RA is equal to 50 mm. All dimensions are in mm. RA is 50 mm. Again, the distance of point C from G or B is RC. Therefore, this distance is RC. Again, RC is given 50 mm. You can see here RC is also given 50 mm. RA is equal to RC, which is nothing but 50 mm. Right. RA, RC are 50 mm. Again, the distance of G from B is 0. Therefore, radius of B, RB is equal to 0 mm. RB is here 0 mm. Right. These distances are given. Now, this force P, which is nothing but 6 kilonewton. Here, force P is 6 kilonewton. This force directly we can transfer at G location as it is. इस 6 kilonewton को हम G पे as it is उठा के रख सकते हैं. लेकिन what is the eccentricity? Therefore, from G, what is the distance of 6 kilonewton? That we can say 50. See this much distance. This much distance. We can say eccentricity, which is nothing but 50 plus 30 plus 170, which is nothing but 250. Which is nothing but 250 mm. Therefore, eccentricity given is 250 mm. Load is 6 kilonewton and radius RA is equal to RC is equal to 50 mm and RB is 0 mm. That is given data, right? And center of gravity, centroid of bolts is at B location, right? And question is to find resultant load on bolt C. Resultant load on bolt C, right? This is a question. Now, on each and every bolt, there will be a primary shear as well as secondary shear load. On each and every bolt, there will be a primary shear load as well as secondary shear load. Let us do the calculation for this. Now here, let us say, इसको थोड़ा zoom out करता हूं मैं. तो bolt देखते हैं यहाँ पे, right? The position of bolts A, B, C. These are the bolts A, B, and C, and G will be at location B only. The centroid of all bolts will be at location G only, right? And this force P we can directly put at any location. See, agar force P को आपने G पे transfer कर लिया, if I put this force P at location G, right, like this, force P, then I have to put the moment created by this force also about B, right? तो इसका moment कितना आएगा यहाँ पे, that is about G, there will be a torque which is nothing but torque is equal to P into E, right? ये भी रखना पड़ेगा and force P भी रखना पड़ेगा आपको B पे, right? तो देखते हैं, पुट करते हैं इसको हम यहाँ पे, right? Let us solve this. तो G point पे at G location we will put force P as it is, which is nothing but 6 kilonewton, right? And there is a torque also acting in clockwise direction. This torque, which is nothing but torque is equal to P into E. E is nothing but E is given 250 mm. We have calculated these all values, right? Now, तो इस force P के लिए, for this P, there will be a primary shear loads in C, B, and A, which are opposite to P. Therefore, this is PSC primary shear load in C. Therefore, there will be PSB primary shear load in B. There will be primary shear load in A, PSA primary shear load in A. Right? These are the primary shear loads in A, B, C. Therefore, can I say primary shear load in A is equal to primary shear load in B is equal to primary shear load in C is equal to total load divided by number of bolts is 3. Total load divided by number of bolts, which is 3. That formula we have derived just now. Therefore, this PSA plus, therefore, total load is 6 kilonewton divided by 3. Therefore, we can say PSA is equal to PSB is equal to PSC is equal to 6 by 3 is 2 kilonewton. These are the primary loads in bolt A, bolt B, and bolt C. Then there will be a secondary shear load also. There will be a secondary shear load also because of torque T. Because of this torque is clockwise. Torque is acting in clockwise direction, my dear students. So we have to put anti-clockwise torque. Clockwise torque को cancel करने के लिए हमें anti-clockwise torque apply करना पड़ेगा. Now the radius of C from the G is RC. This distance is RC. Radius of C from the G, and secondary shear load is perpendicular to radius. Therefore, इस radius को perpendicular जो कि anti-clockwise direction में torque create करे. PSC dash, there will be PSC dash perpendicular radius, and which will create anti-clockwise torque about G. Right? Again, at A, radius of A, RA. This is radius of A from G to A distance, RA. And for this RA, there will be a perpendicular load which will create anti-clockwise torque like this. Like this. This is PSA dash. PSA dash. Right. Now see, PSA dash and PSC dash, they are creating anti-clockwise torque. 100% correct then. Right. Now how to find secondary shear loads? That is, if I want to find PSA dash is equal to K into RA. This formula we have derived, K into RA, where K is nothing but P into E divided by RA square plus RB square plus RC square into RA. Therefore, PSA dash is equal to P into E, that is torque, which is nothing but torque. P is 6 kilonewton, E is 250 into RA is 50. All values we have calculated. Divided by RA square is 50 square plus RB square is 0 square plus RC square is 50 square. Right. Now this is secondary shear load on bolt A. And solve for secondary shear load on bolt A. You will find answer equal to 15 kilonewton. इसको solve करो दोस्तों. You will get answer 15 kilonewton, 15 kilonewton. Solve करके check करना इसको. Solve this and check this, 15 kilonewton. Again, we can find secondary shear load PS B dash on B load. Secondary shear load on B bolt, which is nothing but K into RB. Now RB is 0. Therefore, PS B dash is equal to 0 only. PS B dash is equal to 0 kilonewton. Again, we can find secondary shear load PSC dash, secondary shear load on C bolt, which is nothing but K into RC, right? Therefore, which is nothing but equal to K into RC, which is nothing but equal to K is nothing but P into E divided by RA square plus RB square plus RC square into RC. And my dear students, as RA is equal to RC, right? See, PSA dash is KRA and PSC dash is KRC, but RA is equal to RC, but RA is equal to RC. Therefore, PSC dash is equal to PSA dash. Therefore, we can say PSC dash is equal to PSA dash. Therefore, we can say here PSA dash is equal to PSC dash is equal to 15 kilonewton. 1.15 kilonewton. These are the loads, right? So हमने जो जो लोड कैलकुलेट किए उनको मैं यहाँ पे साइड में लिख रहा हूं दोस्तों. हमने जो जो लोड्स कैलकुलेट किए उनको थोड़ा सा साइड में लिख लेता हूं मैं, राइट? नाउ आई एम कीपिंग हियर ओनली डायग्राम. सी, we have calculated PSA is equal to PSB is equal to PSC is equal to 2 kilonewton. That is primary shear load on bolt A, B, and C. Then PSA dash, secondary shear load on bolt A, is equal to PSC dash, secondary shear load on bolt C, which is nothing but 15 kilonewton. And secondary shear load on bolt B, PSB dash, is 0 kilonewton. Right? And look at the diagram. If question is to find resultant load on bolt A, look at bolt A. This is bolt A. On this bolt A, PSA is going up, which is 2 kilonewton. PSA dash is going down, which is 15 kilonewton. Right? Therefore, अब डायरेक्ट एक ही लाइन में है ना, तो रिजल्टेंट लोड ऑन बोल्ट ए विल बी इक्वल टू, कैन आई से 15 minus 2, which is nothing but 13 kilonewton. रिजल्टेंट देखो, डाउनवर्ड को पॉजिटिव लिया मैंने, अपवर्ड को नेगेटिव लिया, नो प्रॉब्लम. द डायरेक्शन विल बी डाउनवर्ड. Direction will be downward, that is direction of larger force. Here, resultant load on A will be 15 minus 2 in downward direction, that is 13 kilonewton. Again, if I want to find resultant load on bolt B को देखो, there is only PSB in upward direction, which is 2 kilonewton. PSB dash is 0. Therefore, resultant load on B is nothing but 2 kilonewton. 2 kilonewton. Again, look at the bolt C. Look at the bolt C. On bolt C, PSC and PSC dash are going in upward direction. Therefore, this is a C bolt. On this C bolt, PSC is nothing but 2 kilonewton primary shear load on bolt C, and PSC dash, which is nothing but secondary shear load on bolt C, is 15 kilonewton. Both are going upward. अब जैसे कि दोनों अपवर्ड जा रहे हैं, both will get added. दोनों एक दूसरे में ऐड होंगे कि नहीं? Therefore, PC resultant load on bolt C is PSC plus PSC dash, which is nothing but 2 plus 15, which is nothing but 17 kilonewton. Therefore, PC will be 17 kilonewton. And my dear students, question was to calculate resultant load on bolt C. Question क्या था? Resultant load on bolt C, that is 17 kilonewton. This is your answer. Answer for this question is PC resultant load on bolt C is equal to 17 kilonewton. This is your answer. Look at the options. Option B is correct choice in your given data. Sorry, option C. Option C tha 17 kilonewton. Option C is correct choice. If you select option C, you will get full marks. That is 2 marks. This is your answer. Okay. If any doubt, you can ask me. For any doubt, you can ask me. Comment box में comment लिख के बताओ मुझे आपका डाउट कोई भी होगा तो. If you don't have any doubt, let us go for next question. The next question is on your screen, which was asked in GATE 2007. This question was asked in GATE 2007. Look at the question and try to solve this question. Try to solve this question. Now let us solve this question. Okay. See, the question is a bolted joint is, this question was asked in GATE 2007. A bolted joint is shown below. The maximum shear stress in MPa in bolt A and B respectively are. Now see, for this type of loading, our target is to find maximum shear stress in bolt A and B. Right. Distances are given. Distances are given. Carefully observe the diagram. Carefully observe the diagram. All dimensions are in mm. All dimensions are in mm. ये फिगर में नीचे लिखा हुआ है. Right. Now there is a eccentric load force F is the eccentric which is nothing but 10 kilonewton. Now here we can say this force F which is nothing but 10 kilonewton is nothing but force P, primary load P. This much of 10 kilonewton load is acting on this, which is force P at eccentricity of 150. At eccentricity of 150 mm. Right. All dimensions are in mm. Right. Again सब होना मेरे साथ. ओके चलो. Again eccentricity given, force is given. Now for bolt A, B and C, can I say the center of gravity will G will be at location B. The G point will be at location B. Where B there is a G, right? Therefore G will be at location B, center of gravity, right? Now from G the distance of A is RA. This much distance is RA, which is nothing but 40 mm. RA is 40 mm. Distance of G from C is RC. Here RC is also 40 mm. And distance of G from B is RB, where RB is 0 mm. B and G will coincide. B and G will coincide. Eccentricity is given 150 mm. Now any force can be transferred at any location, but along with force we have to transfer the moment created by that force. तो इस फोर्स P को हम डायरेक्टली उठा के G पॉइंट पे भी रख सकते हैं. We can put this force P at G also like this P को. But what is the moment created by this force? This force is creating moment in clockwise direction which is nothing but P into E. तो G पॉइंट पे आपको टॉर्क भी अप्लाई करना है. टॉर्क इज इक्वल टू P into E in clockwise direction. That is your calculation. Now तो हमने क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा सा अंडरस्टैंड कर लिया. Let us go for the solution. Let us go for the solution. Right. Now here the bolts are topmost bolt is C, middle is B and bottom is A. These are the bolts, right? Now at B we can directly put the applied load which is of 10 kilonewton as it is. तो 10 kilonewton को as it is put कर दिया, which is nothing but P, right? And torque, there will be a torque in clockwise direction, which is nothing but torque is equal to P, which is nothing but 10 into E is nothing but 150 kilonewton mm. Torque will be P into E, which is nothing but P into E kilonewton mm. It will come in kilonewton mm. Units हमने same ही use किए हैं. Now there will be a primary shear load. जो applied load P है, for applied load 10 kilonewton downward direction, there will be primary shear load in upward direction in all the bolts. Therefore there will be primary shear load in A, that is PSA, primary shear load in B, PSB, primary shear load in C, PSC. Right. Now can I say the primary shear load in all bolts is same, that is PSA is equal to PSB is equal to PSC is equal to total load 10 divided by number of volts is 3. 10 by 3, total load is 10 kilonewton and number of volts are 3, which is nothing but 3.33 kilonewton. This is a primary shear load in all bolts, which is upward. नाउ लुक एट द सेकेंडरी शेयर लोड। सेकेंडरी शेयर लोड कैलकुलेट करना है तो हमें पहले रेडियस को देखना पड़ेगा। नाउ द डिस्टेंस ऑफ बोल्ट ए फ्रॉम बी इज आर बी, this much distance is rb, this much distance is rb, distance of bolt a from the b or g is rb. Now and moment acting on the bolt is clockwise and we have to create anti-clockwise moment, therefore the secondary shear load will go like this. Anti-clockwise moment create karna hai na b ke about, therefore this will be ps a dash which is perpendicular to radius, which is perpendicular to radius. Now look at this, ps a dash is creating anti-clockwise moment about b, right? Again at c, distance of G from the C is RC, and for this RC, we have to draw perpendicular line which must create anti-clockwise moment about G. Therefore, the secondary shear load at C will be like this, PSC dash. This is secondary shear load perpendicular to the radius, right? Now calculate them. Therefore, secondary shear load calculate करने का formula क्या है? PSA dash is equal to K into RA, which is nothing but K is nothing but P into E divided by RA square plus RB square plus RC square into RA. This is the formula to find secondary shear load on A. Therefore, PSA dash is equal to P into E is nothing but torque 10 into 150 into RA. RA is given 40. Already we have calculated all the dimensions. RA is 40 divided by RA is 40 square plus RB is 0 square plus RC is 40 square. Right. Solve for this. You will get secondary shear load on bolt A, B, secondary shear load on bolt A. You will get secondary shear load on bolt A. Solve for this. I think the answer will be 18.75, 18.75 kilonewton. Similarly, the secondary shear load on bolt B, PSB dash is equal to KRB. RB is 0, my dear students, which is nothing but 0 kilonewton. Again, secondary shear load on bolt C, which is nothing but equal to K into RC. And my dear students, RA is equal to RC. Therefore, we can say here K into RA also. Therefore, PSC dash is equal to PSA dash, which is nothing but 18.75 kilonewton. Right. This is how we have calculated primary and secondary shear loads on bolt A, B, and C. Let us go for stress calculation. तो दोस्तों हम अब कैलकुलेट करना है स्ट्रेसेस को, राइट? तो थोड़ा सा देखते हैं यहाँ पे। नाउ यहाँ पे जो डाटा लिख रहा हूं मैं, PSA is equal to PSB is equal to PSC is equal to 3.33 kilonewton. This is primary shear load on bolt A, bolt B, and bolt C. Then primary shear load on bolt, secondary shear load on bolt A is equal to secondary shear load on bolt C, which is nothing but 18.75 kilonewton, and secondary shear load on bolt B, which is 0 kilonewton. This is our given data, right? Now let us go for the solution. अब हमें निकालना है क्वेश्चन में, our target is to find resultant load. Therefore, can I say, see here, resultant load on A. Look at the bolt A. On bolt A, primary shear load is upward and secondary shear load is towards right. Means if I check bolt A, there will be PSA upward, which is nothing but 3.33, and PSA dash, which is towards right, 18.75, and resultant of this will be in between them, that is PA, and angle between them is 90 degree. Therefore, for two mutually perpendicular loads, resultant is under root of PSA square plus PSA dash square. ये होता है रिजल्टेंट का म्यूचुअली परपेंडिकुलर फोर्सेस का रिजल्टेंट, राइट? देयरफॉर PA रिजल्टेंट लोड ऑन A इज इक्वल टू अंडर रूट ऑफ 3.33 square plus 18.75 square. And if I solve this resultant load on bolt A, we will get the answer for this, we will get equal to 19.04 kilonewton, which is nothing but 19.04 into 10 to the power 3 Newton in Newton. ये होगा न्यूटन में। यही क्या होगा दोस्तों, C भी यही होगा कि नहीं, because C and A are symmetric. See, at C there is a PSC and a PSC dash, both are perpendicular to each other. See, this PSC, which is nothing but 3.33, PSC dash, which is nothing but 18.75, both are perpendicular to each other. Therefore PC will be the resultant of 3.33 and 18.75 perpendicular to each other. The answer will be same. Similarly for bolt B, now we have calculated resultant on A is equal to resultant on C is equal to 19.04 into 10 to the power 3 Newton. Similarly, resultant load on B. Look at the B. For B, there is only one load, PSB, which is nothing but 3.33 kilonewton. There is only one load, no? Secondary shear load is 0. Therefore, resultant load on B is equal to 3.33 into 10 to the power 3 Newton. This is the resultant load on B. Right. Now, once you calculate resultant loads, go for stresses calculation. Now, I am erasing everything. My dear students. Now we are going for the stresses calculation. Right. Now, what is our result? Our result is resultant load on A is equal to resultant load on C is equal to 19.04 into 10 to the power 3 Newton. And resultant load on B is equal to 3.33 into 10 to the power 3 Newton. All right. And now question is to find stresses. Therefore, to find stresses, we can say, see, the bolt is given. What is the given bolt? Somewhere in the diagram, look at the diagram. They have mentioned that M10 by 1.75 mm. This is how they have mentioned somewhere. M is nothing but metric thread. D is 10 is nothing but diameter. Diameter is 10 mm. And this is the pitch. Therefore, pitch is equal to 1.75 mm. Right. Therefore, area of this bolt will be pi by 4 d square. This will be the area. Therefore, shear stress on A will be force on A divided by area, which is nothing but force on A divided by pi by 4 d square, which is nothing but 19.04 into 10 to the power 3 divided by pi by 4 into d. Diameter is 10 square. And solve for this. If I solve this, I will get answer equal to 242.6 Newton per mm square. Right. Therefore, shear stress on bolt A is equal to, which is nothing but shear stress on bolt C also. C पे भी उतना ही आएगा ना, एरिया भी उतना है, फोर्स भी उतना है, 242.6 Newton per mm square. Similarly, if I want to find shear stress on bolt B, then I have to write force on B divided by area, which is nothing but force on B divided by pi by 4 d square, which is nothing but force on B is 3.33 into 10 to the power 3 divided by area is pi by 4 into 10 square. And if I solve this, I will get answer equal to, बताओ कितना आंसर आता है इसका? Answer will be 42.44 Newton per mm square, which is nothing but MPa. Newton per mm square is nothing but MPa. Therefore, shear stress on A is 242.6 MPa. Shear stress on B is equal to 42.44 MPa. And this was the question. यही question पूछा था, shear stress on A and shear stress on B. What is the value? Option A देखो दोस्तों, option A is the correct choice. In given question, option A will be the correct choice. Right. Note down this. जिसका आंसर आया था, बताओ मुझे. समझ में आ रहा है ना? Hello, my dear students. You can purchase this course. You can purchase all mechanical gate course on Ekeeda app. Go into the Play Store and download Ekeeda app. You will find all the recorded lectures of all subjects in detail with precise solution of all the previous year gate numericals as well as very good standard quality numericals जो कि रेफरेंस बुक में मिलेंगे आपको, राइट. एंड अगर आप मेरा कोड यूज करते हो सब्सक्रिप्शन के टाइम पे, आप मेरा कोड यूज करते हो तो देन यू विल गेट 10% ऑफ. माय कोड इज वर्डने 10. हियर आई एम राइटिंग इन कमेंट बॉक्स. लुक एट द कमेंट बॉक्स. WADNE 10. use this code to get 10% discount. Again I am writing here, स्क्रीन पे लिख रहा हूं मैं यहाँ पे. if you use WADNE 10, use this promo code while subscription, you will get 10% off on your fees, right? ओके. किसी को कोई डाउट है? मैंने कमेंट भी लिखा है. आई हैव रिटन इन कमेंट आल्सो promo code, and if anybody having doubt, I have written on the screen also. The promo code I have written on the screen also. Okay. If anybody having doubt in any numerical, you can ask me, right? Now solve these questions. फटाफट से स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो. फटाफट स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो इस क्वेश्चन का and solve this question. Now take a screenshot of next. This question was asked in GATE 2016. Again, next question which was asked in GATE 2015. Take a screenshot and solve these questions. Solve these two questions and comment me your answer in comment box. आपके अगर कमेंट आती है तो उस कमेंट को मैं रिप्लाई दे दूंगा हैंड रिटन डिटेल सॉल्यूशन इन न्यूमेरिकल्स का, राइट. अदरवाइज वी विल सी मोर न्यूमेरिकल्स इन गेट इन नेक्स्ट लेक्चर आल्सो. नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में और ज्यादा हम न्यूमेरिकल देखने ही वाले इस टॉपिक पे. टिल देन ट्राई टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चंस. ओके. किसी को डाउट है? If anybody having doubt, you can ask me. I am here live for 2 minutes, waiting for your doubts. If anybody having doubt, you can ask me. If no doubt, then you can solve these two questions for homework. Again, Ekeeda is providing all the subjects, recorded lectures of all subjects in detail with precise solution of all previous year GATE numericals up to 2020. क्योंकि आप 21 की गेट लिखने वाले हो ना आप, तो 2020 तक सारे सॉल्यूशन मिलेंगे आपको. as well as we are providing you handwritten notes of the faculty, as well as we are providing you recorded lectures and doubt clearing lectures like today. आज के जैसा doubt clearing lectures भी हम आपको provide कर रहे हैं, right? as well as in the same course we are providing you test series also. Okay, then if no doubt, I will go offline. Wish you all the best, students.